Today we're going for green belts. We're going to be doing a Yardeni 6-pin cylinder, 2 spools. Pretty standard green belts. You can get this off Lockpicker's bench for a relatively cheap price. For this, I like to use actually multi-pick G03 left-handed dimple pick, but I flip the pick to get a little bit of a longer dimple. The first pin, the reason is at least on my lock, the first pin is very deep, so you gotta get a bit of turning, which can be a little annoying with a G06 right-handed. I unfortunately only own 2 multi-pick dimple flags on account of them being expensive. And we have cylinder turn. Yay, it works. Now to demonstrate that this lock is actually a lock, realize I probably should have done it with the keys first, but you know. Let's put my picks away. My workstation is messy as hell, but it doesn't need to be, you know, lose my picks messy. Oops, forgot the tension wrench. You can tell I'm a little forgetful sometimes, especially when we're nervous about actually successfully doing this. First attempt resulted in a lot of springs going everywhere. Let's see. We need our tools, pinning mat, of course. Thank you, sparrows. We need our plug followers. This one's going to be too small, but might as well dig stuff out. And pinning tweezers too, which are somewhere in this bag. We should also grab our key to demonstrate that this is actually a functional lock, not some magic trickery. These are Yardeni keys. Comes with 5 of them, though one of them is loose off the ring since I practice on this lock quite a bit. As you can see, very functional lock, very nice. Plug followers out. Where are my pinning tweezers? C-clamp, gutting wrench. I have to use the spare pinning tweezers. Is that them? Oh, another tension wrench. Let's grab a few other things actually. Not bad. We'll be right back. Neighborhood friendly vise. We will need that in a sec, namely for the reassembly and all that jazz. Guess we'll be using my spare pinning tweezers. Size, it looks like. No, that was the right size. right size. Maybe this one that we need. There we go. Come on, C-clamp. Let's put that over there. Just pretend to be organized. We're gonna use a hollow plug follower. Okay, one that's a little more suited. It's this one. But before we forget, we want to turn this guy. In case you were wondering, here's the 5th Yardeni key. Now we can do the plug follower. Okay, go get our spare pinning tweezers over here. One at a time. Pin 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, 5, and 6. As you can recall, I mentioned the deep pin. That's where you can see the deep pins. This is the other deep pin. This pin actually, though, on the funnily enough, makes it easier to pick because it makes the false set a lot easier to avoid. So, you know. I guess you get one pin to make it harder, one pin to make it easier. Now, we're gonna do this one at a time. Pin 1. Pin 2. Pin 3. See this shit. Pin 4. Pin 5. Some of the springs are now coming out. Now that we're hitting pin 5, I'll show you in the focus. You can see that this is the first spool pin. Second spool pin on pin 6. Okay, there we go. Now we got all our springs. Spring, spring, spring. We have now successfully gutted our neighborhood-friendly lock. That is intended to be high security. Now let's start putting this together. Part that's most annoying, honestly. So, pin 1 goes in. Or I guess this is actually pin 6. My bad. So this is pin 6. This is pin 5. Just in case we have any issues. 2, 3, 4, pin 5, pin 6. Apologies, here is the correct gunning of the lock. So let's just put this in, pin 6, pin 5, pin 4, oh, we dropped pin 4, 3, 2, and 1. Get in the tweezers. Good job. Oop. Yay! Okay, that's the easy part. Now we do the hard part. Let's see if we can do this the fun way. So there are actually 2 ways to reassemble this lock. One is considerably easier, assuming it cooperates. So let's see if the lock cooperates. We got this. It's a Bible cover, as you can see. So we can actually do a little friendliness. Actually just reassemble it this way rather than worrying about springs flying. So there you go. Boop. The nice thing is we can keep continually testing to make sure we locked it properly. So we put this in. This is pin 1. Turns. Now it locks. So we know the pin's settled properly. So now, actually, after this, I like to just take the lock out, the key out, to ensure that everything aligns smoothly. So then we're going to put the first spring in. Spring 1 goes in. Now we start putting the Bible cover back in. Now, the other thing I like to do for this guy, for this steel, is that I like to use a probe to actually help push the spring down. So we're going to go back in my lockpick kit and pull out the probe. Okay. Now we just do this in sequential order. Gets a little harder as we go in. The last 1 to 2 in particular tend to be a little problematic. So we tend to dislike that. So I like to push it a little bit before we put the next spring in. It's kind of similar to doing it the regular. If you don't have the Bible cover, it's kind of similar because you're basically pushing the spring into place. So otherwise you get a lot of this jazz. Pin 2, nice and easy. Pin 3. This is where we're starting to get some difficulties. basically as we get it closer, and gives more resistance. Start seeing I'm going to have trouble pushing it in with my hands. I'm going to start needing a pair of pliers, which I unfortunately left in the other room. At least last time I did this, I needed pliers. Already see it happening. Okay, now we do the spools. Push it back a little, and push it forward a little. Spring. Start needing the pliers. Oh, there we go. Okay, let's push that back out just a touch. I think I saw some of the spring residue. Spring. Oh, that was a close one. As we can see, the lock's still functioning. We're on the last pin. Might actually beat this in a clean 20 minutes. Despite the fact that I had to go and get tools multiple times. Let's actually take this out. Just bring it back a little bit more. It's perfect, I think. Probe tool, push it back down. And does it work? Come on, almost flush. And I think we got it. Let's test. Appears to work. Just push that there so we can put the C-clamp in. box. It keys. It keys the other way too. Whee! So we have successfully reassembled this lock. Went a little over 20 minutes in terms of the testing part, but hopefully this is enough to get a green belt. Thank you for watching and dealing with my disorganization. Have a nice night.